So yeah, we're really lucky to have Simone with us. Obviously, we've just watched Swipe Right. Believe it or not, Simone is another first-time filmmaker, unbelievably. So I guess the first question is, it's an ambitious film, hugely ambitious film. A lot of complexities, a lot of sort of delicate issues and the subject matter that you had to address. Tell us how you came about to make this film as your first ever film.
Well, I guess I got to start by saying that I've been an actress for many years, and you know, I have I'm lucky that I have lots of contacts with professional people that I was able to pull in for the film, which was great. So basically, I was told this true story.
Oh wow!
Okay. And then literally 2 days later, a film that I was working as a producer on, one of the investors out the blue just said, "What about you? Is there something that you would like to make?" And he offered me some. I said, "Yes, there is."
Oh wow!
Because when I was told the story, I thought this would make a great short film. It originally was much more, when I wrote it, it was much more the whole kind of dream sequence, her, you know, imaginings when she was on Rohypnol were very Lynch-esque, and there just wasn't enough time.
Yeah, you could have probably gone down a massive rabbit hole with that.
Yeah. So you just limited it to that one motif, really. And yeah, you know, I was able to, like, I have a friend who is a radio journalist at the BBC. She did the news item at the beginning. Another friend is a singer-songwriter, so she did the club song. And then the original score at the end, which is beautiful, Summer Bingham, who wrote some music for the film that I was producing, came on board to write that specifically to picture, which was great.
Wow! So they all immediately bought into your idea, and wanted to support you. That's really good, because that's half the battle, right? As a first-time filmmaker, getting the right people in, having the best idea, having a great idea that's going to work, that people will invest their time in. And
I've got to say, from the off as well, I had worked twice with the DP. She was focus puller at the time on a couple of TV shows that I did as an actress, and you know, she's Scottish, and I always made that kind of, and there was just, I always had this pull towards her. You know, I was interested to speak to her, and at one of the, you know, screenings of one of the shows that we did, she approached me about another film that she was DPing on, and she asked me if I was interested in acting in it. And I thought, yes, a favour for a favour. So I spoke to Laura about my idea, and she was great. She was able to bring in, you know, a lot of the crew and pull a lot of favours as well. So I was very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, the standard across the board is incredible on the film. There's no, you know, there's no weak. Sometimes you watch a film and, you know, maybe the sound design is not up to scratch, but you know, this has got everything in abundance. One thing that you are nominated for, this film is nominated for an award, sound design, and if this film is a perfect example of how important sound design is, right from, you know, immersing the audience into the club, into the situation she's in the club, but more importantly, obviously, when she's back at her house, flat, and, you know, that's when the sound comes into its own, right?
Yeah, I guess as an actress, I love when there's gaps in the dialogue, and I love non-verbal communication, and I understand the importance of sound and music, etc., and you know, to build, you know, the internal life of, you know, what was going on, and build the tension, etc. And August did an amazing job. You know, it was lovely listening to it here and hearing it pan. You know, I haven't seen it in a proper cinema. That's the first time.
Yeah, I think we were in the great spot, perfect spot just there.
Yeah,
and
he
really
came. Yes, exactly, prime spot. He came on board. I also had a wonderful editor, Kyle Waters, and he brought August in. So he was a big part of the process, obviously, putting everything together.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, you touched upon earlier that this was a friend's experience. I mean, are we talking completely that whole scenario, or was it just based on some? Was there much artistic, license there, or was that
Yes.
literally because that's terrifying, basically?
Well, the dream sequence obviously is just my imagination running wild, but the cage, etc. That was
Wow.
that's all for real.
Wow, that is incredible, because I guess a lot of people use dating sites, and it's a bit of a minefield. I'm quite glad I've never had to experience that, and I hope I don't get dumped by my missus now, and I have to try it, because it's a minefield. But yeah, it's I guess that is the ultimate nightmare for whoever's using that,
Absolutely.
whether it be male or female, I guess. But
Absolutely.
But I guess you've got to sort of, when you're making a film like that, you've got to make sure I guess it's a fine line you're treading between sort of sensationalism and realism.
Well, this is the thing, and it was very important to me that she saves herself. So that it wasn't really, it wasn't another victim
Of course,
film.
yeah.
And yes, so having her handbag and her phone in the bathroom with her, and being able to call the police, and her making herself sick when she arrived, these were all things.
Well, that's the common theme through the film, is her independence and her strength.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that comes across really well. There's no situation where you feel, oh, the poor girl type scenario.
No.
She's a strong, independent woman, and like you say, she's taken necessary steps to make sure that she's safe. And yeah, it's,
but that end image of her, the track, the music that was composed is called "Pushing Through the Veil," and that image, I just have the sense of the loss of innocence and such a huge change, and what she was going to be facing to get through this, and
revelation really of one thing that I really like about the film, and after this I promise I will pass out to any questions that people have. One thing that I really love is the fact that you throw a lot of red herrings at the audience in that film.
That was another thing that was very important, that it was important that the audience didn't go, oh, I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, of course.
And in the beginning, it's kind of set up that you are bound to go, I know what's going to happen here. So yes, I deliberately.
It's great that you do that. It's great that
you threw it off.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So that it was still a revelation at the end.
It's a fantastic film, and we're really grateful you submitted it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.